Nicole, college football playoff national championship presented by AT&T between Ohio State and Alabama is tonight. Will Bama wideout Jaylen Waddle play his 600 all-purpose yards in 4 games before injuring his ankle, or the 3rd most in the FBS? Pressuring Buckeyes QB Justin Fields will be crucial. Fields completed fewer than 50% of his passes when pressured this season, compared to an FBS best 81% without pressure. And Bama must stop Trey Sermon. His 524 rushing yards over the last 2 games are the most in any 2-game span in Ohio State history. SportsCenter on the Road is presented by Rocket Mortgage as we welcome Jesse Palmer from Miami. Jesse, Justin Fields coming off that career-high 385 yards passing, 6 TD performance in the semis despite that injury to his ribs. What does he need to do to replicate that against Bama tonight and pull off the upset?
He's going to have to be great in the pocket, Jay, and obviously we don't expect him to be 100%, so you wonder how that's going to impact his mobility. He's going to have to make plays throwing the ball from the pocket, like we saw in the semifinal in that game you were mentioning against Clemson. That was the best I'd ever seen Justin Fields throw the football, and to me, he was playing fast. He was getting through his progressions quickly. On this play here, he's got a slot receiver on a seam. He doesn't like it. Quickly gets his vision all the way back to the right side. Chris Olave on the go. Don't like it? Fine. Knows where his check down is. 3rd in the progression. Trey Sermon on the swing. Tons of space out in front of him. Get him the football early, and you move the chains. But he also did a great job, I think, reading coverage and defensive players' body language. Here he's got a combination route with 2 tight ends. He's focusing on the safety. When the safety starts peeking inside, right now he knows he's pulling this trigger. Tight end on the seam. Look at the anticipation, but even more, the location of the throw. It's perfect, and I just loved his conviction throwing the ball, even when he was wrong. I think the tight end over the middle of the ball here is wide open, but Justin Fields on this play, come hell or high water, look, we got the guy open. He's throwing this to the covered tight end, who hasn't even turned around yet. Great anticipation, and again, unbelievable location. Justin Fields talked about that being the most prepared he's ever been going into a college game, and it showed up on film. I think if Justin Fields can bring that same mental approach and have the same attention to detail tonight against this Alabama defense, I think Ohio State can win this game.
That was great tape. On the other side of the ball, Mac Jones and the Crimson Tide with 31 or more points in every game this season. What area is Jones excelling in that he'll need to continue to do tonight against the Buckeyes D?
Wow, well, it's been so easy to get enamored with all the statistics of Mac Jones and the arm talent, the accuracy, and the touch, but I think he's really honed in on the skills that sometimes are really hard to coach. Mac Jones's anticipation is the best I've seen of any quarterback in college football this year. When you get rid of the football early and get it to your wide receivers early, good things happen. Here's DeVonta Smith just running a simple curl route. Take a look at the anticipation. Ball's out before DeVonta Smith has even turned around, and when you put it on the receiver now, you create space with the defender. You give the Heisman Trophy winner 5 yards to work with, that's all she wrote. Too much speed, cutting ability, he gets upfield, explosive play. Here's a double move against Mississippi State. Unfortunately for Mississippi State, you got Smith running against a safety. A little pump fake for Mac Jones, anticipating the safety, driving the out route, throws this 21 yards from where DeVonta Smith originally broke. That leads to a touchdown. Then you go to the SEC title game against the Gators. That's a running back, Najee Harris, running a double move, a hitch and slant. And again, Mac Jones, pump fake, anticipate the linebacker buzzing. You throw this 10 yards out in front of the running back into a wide open area, and it's another score, Jay. In college football, so many quarterbacks, they have to see a guy open to have the confidence to finally get rid of it. That's not the case with Mac Jones. He gets it out early and puts it on him early, and that's why Alabama's receiving group, they lead the nation in yards after the catch. Tonight in this game, Mac Jones has to be great with his anticipation because Ohio State's D-line is excellent. They're getting pressure on 37% of their opponents' dropbacks. That's 4th best in the nation.
At any moment, on any play, he can turn the routine into the electric.
Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
DeVonta Smith is the Heisman winner.
And DeVonta Smith scores again.
And he has 60 more minutes to dazzle our eyes and maybe bring the Tide another national title.
SportsCenter on the Road is presented by Rocket Mortgage as we welcome in our Joey Galloway from Miami. Bama wide receiver Jaylen Waddle has been out since the middle of October with that fractured ankle, but according to Nick Saban, he is a game-time decision. So if he plays, what challenges will Waddle, coupled with the Heisman Trophy winner and DeVonta Smith, pose for the Buckeyes defense tonight?
you can't even really put it into words. To think that Devontae Smith won the Heisman Trophy and Jaylen Waddle coming into this season was considered the better wide receiver. The problem might be for Alabama. They might need an extra football to play with if they have all these weapons and you add Najee Harris in the backfield, you add John Mechie out wide and what he's been able to do stepping in. Billingsley, another receiver, tight end, a guy that is 6'4", 240. They have so many weapons. Defensively, I don't know who you try to take away. You can't double team everyone. You add Waddle to this offense that is absolutely as explosive as the LSU offense we watched last season, and all of a sudden, you either have to pick your poison. You have to try to get after Mac Jones, try to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. You have to try to take away Najee Harris, or you have to try to play coverage and double team these guys on the back end. But with Waddle in this offense, along with Devontae Smith on one side, Billingsley, Mechie, I really don't know defensively how you shut these guys down. You can't stop them, but you have to find a way to maybe force a couple punts the way Notre Dame did, but that was without Waddle. It'll be interesting to see what Alabama does if Waddle does play. Again,
Waddle is a game-time decision. I don't know, maybe one of the keys to tonight's game could be just keep that offense off the field. Maybe Ohio State needs to use Trey Sermon and that running game a bit more. So how did the Buckeyes sort of recreate some of the success that they had in the semis against Clemson? How do they do that tonight against Alabama?
It's imperative that they run the football. And I don't necessarily think that it matters how long you keep, Alabama's offense on the sideline because they score so quickly. And when you looked at the semifinal against Notre Dame, it didn't really matter because they were on the field much less time, but they were scoring points. But the run game for Ohio State sets up their own offense. It sets a tone. They went into the game against Clemson and absolutely manhandled Clemson's defense up front. You'll see Trey Sermon isn't making a cut in the backfield. And when you watch football games, you watch running backs, the good ones. If you don't make them make at least one guy miss, make one cut in the backfield, there is no way to slow these guys down when they get to the second level. And the way Trey Sermon is playing in the Big Ten championship game, now in this semi, and the way the confidence level at the beginning, at the front line of this offense has been playing lately, it's going to be tough to stop this run. It is imperative. Ohio State has to run the football. If they can do that, it opens up the play action pass. It opens up Justin Fields getting outside the pocket, and they have weapons outside also. And Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, you also have to figure out what do we want to stop, the run game or try to take away these weapons to the outside, which we saw Clemson couldn't do either. But we know when Ohio State runs the football the way they did their last two games, their offense is as good as anyone in the country.
I'm glad you brought up not just the semifinal game, but the Big Ten title game as well, because Sermon's rushed for 524 total yards those past two games against Clemson and Northwestern. The wait is almost over, Jay, Joey. We will know tonight who's the best team in college football.
I'm ready.
And what do we have for you?
MegaCast.
It's tonight covering every angle of the national championship game presented by AT&T. You get the main telecast on ESPN and ABC. You get the film room, you get the Skycast, you get the data center, you get the RefCast, plus the college football live and NFL live crews on the
MegaCast.